Oh, 100%.
The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite. Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.
It says, did you not record the intro?
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I did. I was recording while you were chugging.
It said stand by until
Yeah, it said
right
stand
now.
by.
Oh, yeah, because you weren't showing, probably.
Oh, I'll show you.
Okay,
Get this
well,
podcast canceled.
Hi, welcome to this professional podcast. This is Hanging Loose. I am Spicy Boy, and that is
Hanging from the ceiling.
We Wish.
Jesus Christ.
No, you
I
brought it
am.
there.
Shanked DG. Yes. How you guys doing? I missed you guys last week.
Well, at least it was one way. We missed you too. Hope everything's doing okay. Yep. All right. Bye. Shout out to our sponsors. Our sponsor, RanDiscGolf. As you can see, RanDiscGolf right here for all of your
Disc needs.
I can't figure out the spacing.
Wait.
There. We're the fucking worst.
Dude, shouts out to Randy, though. He has been killing it. Or actually, you guys have been killing it, giving Randy your business. He put up those X out discs, and y'all ate them up. Just chomped them down. So thank you for supporting probably the coolest vendor. Not probably, the coolest vendor in disc golf.
It's the most
Just as
one-man show. What are you having a seizure over there?
no,
He's the most
I was
one-man
waiting
show
for you to
vendor in
stop
disc
talking.
golf. No, I'm talking about Shank
Oh.
disappearing and coughing and
I meant to hit mute because I was coughing, but I hit my camera instead, but I couldn't.
In Randy-related news, he also just put out a couple of posts on Twitter/X about.
I mean, these ones about shipping.
Yeah, why don't you take it away, Spicy?
I was literally gonna be like, also, by the way, fucking producer he's like Angel Hernandez. He just has to insert himself at every opportunity. Angel Martinez, what's his name?
JD Vance
No.
with couches.
Yeah, he only inserts himself into couches. Anyway, Randy says, I wanted to let you all know that I met with the local USPS this morning. As of Monday, the 24th of March, due to cost cutting, USPS will only be running one truck of outgoing mail per day first thing in the morning. I used to make a run to the post office every evening to get packages out same day because they had an outgoing truck at 5. As of now, packages won't be in transit until early the next morning. They assumed this won't cause any delays in shipping, or they assured me, this won't cause any delays in shipping, but we'll have to see if that's truly the case. Regardless, your disc and accessories from RanDiscGolf will always be shipped out to you as soon as humanly possible. And I can vouch for that. I submitted an order, and 7 minutes after I submitted it, Randy sent me my tracking information. So
Yeah.
if you guys want fast shipping, great products, and stuff that nobody else has, because he specializes in small manufacturers, RanDiscGolf is the place to go. God, that was a good read off the top of my head. You're welcome, Randy. I'm not even going to charge you for that one.
Oh, shit. Story time. What you been up to?
Yeah. Tell me. Me?
Yeah, you.
Nothing. That's not true. So in disc golf related news, I went out and played last week,
Hell yeah.
which was nice. The homies
With
were
friends
there.
or with friends?
Yep. So we initially went out on Thursday, and I was like, I'm going to throw today, rain or shine. And we got, for us, please understand people who live in these areas of the country, I'm not making light of what you deal with, but for us, it was essentially hurricane weather. It was like 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. It was pouring rain, hitting you in the face sideways. And it came out of nowhere. And so, like, we got to the course, I'm thinking, oh, it might, like, drizzle a little bit. And it was horrible. It was so bad. So I played one hole and I was like, I know I'm the one that invited everybody out here, but I'm fucking leaving. I'm sorry. And I left after a hole.
Dang, what an a-hole.
Well, I was the a-hole. And then the next day it was much better weather and we all went out and threw a full round. And I was like, so how long did you guys stay? They're like, oh, we just wanted to wait till you left the parking lot. Then we all left too. We didn't. We just wanted you to feel like shit for about 4 minutes, and then we all bailed out too. And I was like, "Fuck you guys." Also, thank you. It was fun.
You said that was Thursday.
That Thursday was attempt number 1. Then we went back out Friday and did. Then Saturday, I went and got to see Stavros live and in person. He's a comedian. If you have Netflix, watch him. He's very funny. And then had the worst dinner of my life on the date I was on. Took her to a restaurant that I knew to have good food, but I'd never been to the restaurant. I've only ever had them catered. And they took 2 hours.
Oh, no.
To bring us our food. 2 hours. Not only that, we were the last people in the restaurant because they're a very small restaurant. So they sold out for the day. We were the last people in the restaurant, last people to be served out of everybody. And we were there 2 hours before our food came out. I was pissed because I was on a date I chose this place. It was just a horrid experience.
How'd the date respond?
Her and I are pretty good friends. So she was very understanding.
Right.
Also,
it's not your fault, but
remind me at the end of the show to tell you about the CSI episode I watched. Please, because I can't do it. I can't do it here. Anyway, she was very nice. We were 10 minutes late to the comedy show, so we missed a good portion of the set, which I was not happy about. Everything else was fine. It was a little awkward afterwards because we both just felt like this has started badly, so it's not, salvaging it would be difficult. So it wasn't the best. And then Sunday, I hosted trivia at the new place, and initially started out with a pretty good group of people, but it dwindled down to like 4 at the end of the night. So not the most exciting debut, but it's only the first week, so I think we'll be fine.
All right.
How have you been?
I've been okay. Hanging in there. Haven't played any disc golf on account of it has been ungodly windy. Thursday, which is the same day you had your thing, right? Mm-hmm. When you guys had your storms. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I walked into my front yard and I looked, it was probably 50 mile per hour sustained winds and 80 mile per hour gusts. And I walked down to my front yard and just looked around like as far as I could see on the horizon and just dust. And I thought
like the mummy.
Yeah. I thought it would just stay there because it's probably dirt roads and whatever, just blowing up or whatever. Maybe an hour later, everything was tinted like Breaking Bad. Everything was orange. I could chew the air. It was so bad. And
do you know what that type of storm is called?
Dust storm.
No.
Oh.
It's a Haboob.
Seriously?
Yeah. We have them in Phoenix like 10 times a year.
Really?
You just look over the horizon. There's a huge brown cloud of dust. And then 20 minutes later, you can't see. You can't breathe. You can look directly at the sun because there's so much dust in front of it. It looks like the moon.
It was wild. I'd never experienced anything. There was a thin film of dirt on my car after it was done. And I'd never experienced anything like it. And it was ripping siding off of buildings. Our local coffee place lost their logo. And I don't know if I posted it on Twitter, but they were like, hey, if anyone's seen our sign, can you return it? I was like, there's no chance. If I found that, it's in my living room.
Don't ask Ashley. Just look what I found, man. I told you I'd put a coffee shop in the house one day.
I've got a Ziggy's sign in my living room. Don't ask about it. But it was the wildest thing. I before the dust got here, I was like, I'm gonna go try to throw in this wind, just get a couple fun clips out of it. And then by the time I was off work, I couldn't breathe. I was like the ceiling in the roof. The ceiling in the building I was working in was like flexing in the wind as I was sitting there trying to work. It was the most insane
when that happens
thing I've experienced.
go into Discord and go jump into the general channel and click that link and tell me if that's what you're talking about. It's literally called a Haboob, dude. It's like that scene in The Mummy.
That looks identical to what it was.
They're scary if you've never been in one before. I mean, I would imagine any kind of storm, tornado, hurricane, whatever. Yeah. If you've never been in one, it's mortifying. You're just like, holy shit, dude.
It's fun watching people like react to tornado because there was a big outbreak this last weekend of tornadoes.
Outbreak. Oh no! Get your tornado vaccinations.
HPV.
COVID F5.
COVID F5. That's good. It's fun watching the people react that don't have tornadoes frequently, and they're like, if there was even anywhere near my house, I'd be running. I'm like, they're very localized. Like unless you're in the path of a tornado, you're fine. Which if you're in the path of a tornado, you're fucked. So it's like it's one or the other
for sure.
But like in Iowa, you just stand out on your porch and just watch it like cross a field. And you're like, oh, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, like you've seen things in the news where it's like the tornado carved a path and you see a town and there's like a million perfectly fine buildings, but there's one line of just absolute shit show destruction.
Yep.
I've never been in a tornado. I've been under a tornado watch. Never had an earthquake. Never felt an earthquake. Arizona is known for being
same with the earthquake.
The avoidance of natural disasters for the most part. So
but you guys have scorpions.
And rattlesnakes. And
rattlesnakes too.
A lot of other things I can't talk about publicly.
My first tournament I ever played in Oklahoma. It was in Guthrie. Smoking Pig Open is what they call it. It's fun. But we were on the back nine, like in the boonies of the course. And one of my card mates goes, "Oh, watch out, there's tarantulas." And I went, "There's fucking what?"
Yeah, who's a what now?
You said who? They're like, "Oh yeah, tarantulas. They just burrow in the ground, and if you get too close, they'll like punch you."
Yep.
I was like, "Punch you?" And he's like, "Yeah, they don't bite. They just kind of like get aggressive, and then when you get far enough away, they go away." But I think my score steadily went down after he told me that. So
you mean up?
I didn't. Well, up, yeah. But I never saw a tarantula, so he might have just been trying to get in my head. If that's the case, it worked.
It sure did. So there's a course here in Arizona called Watson Lake up in Prescott, and it's obviously a very gorgeous lakeside course. I would say like the first 10 to 12 holes, you're kind of playing up in these little mountainous type region. So you're throwing across valleys to the other peaks where the basket is, etc. But
that's
then you
get
favorite
shot types at a course.
Oh yeah. And if you're curious how much it dips, check out Custom Course Maps on Twitter. Anyway, but when you get to like holes 13 through 16, it's this huge flat plain area. Tons of tarantulas.
Oh no.
Yeah, you could just see their holes all over the ground that they burrow into, exactly like what you were just talking about. So you throw your disc and you're just like this the whole time. You're like looking at the ground while you walk. You're like, fuck that, dude. I don't see a giant spider just popping up on me out of nowhere.
No, I think I've said it before on the show, but I don't do bugs well at all, especially wasps. If I see a wasp, I'm running. Like, I've been stung before. It's not bad. I'm mildly like as much as allergic as anyone else is of them. But my fear is 10 times that of a normal person of a wasp.
How do you guys feel about bears on disc golf courses? Deal with many bears?
I golf all the time. No one ever has a problem with it.
I don't think I'm in areas with bears. I think Iowa has some bears, but that's more in like the northwest side of Iowa.
Because I run into Oklahoma way more bears than I do like scorpions or tarantulas.
You run into bears?
Oh yeah, all the time.
What do you mean all the time? Hold on. No, stop. Full stop. Expand.
Yeah, like a black bear. You ever seen a black bear?
Yeah. Well, no, I've never seen one, but I know what they are.
Yeah, they're just like little. Yeah, they're bears.
They're bears. They're skittish usually. So when
they're usually like running up a hill away from you, or like just kind of like passing through the middle of the course or whatever. Yeah.
I figured they just, if you got close enough, they'd attack.
No, they're actually like
pretty skittish, like I said.
Yeah, they're pretty skittish. Like not really aggressive.
You could, if you usually just yell loud enough at one, they'll be like, "Fuck that," and they'll turn and run away.
Well, yeah. Like we don't chase them off or anything. We just like, they just kind of wander through the middle of the field sometimes.
Yeah, if you're putting out energy, they'll put out energy. If you just kind of relax and ignore them, for the most part. I mean, obviously there have been unprovoked attacks, but
right.
What I was saying is, when I went to New York last May to go to the Hall of Fame, the course I played in Cooperstown had bear warning signs all over it. And I was like, is this real? And the guys I was with were like, yeah.
So here's the question.
Would you put it up if it wasn't?
Would you rather run into a bear or tarantula? I'm taking the bear every time.
I can step on a tarantula.
Yeah.
If a bear decides it doesn't like me, I'm kind of fucked.
Yeah. I have to agree with Spicy on that one. I mean, I could squish a tarantula. It's not going to be pretty, but
it'll be safe.
I can't squish a bear.
No, I'm taking the bear every time. Scorpions, like borderline, but if it's bear versus tarantula, I'd take bear every day.
Scorpions can fuck you up so much worse than a tarantula is.
Are scorpions more? Are they like cockroaches where you can't like squish them? Or are they easily squishable?
You can squish them.
Okay.
They can fit through if there's space the size of a dime, they can fit through that. Like the thickness of a dime, they can fit through that. But like if you step on them, that's 200 plus pounds of direct pressure. They're not going to survive that.
Well, yeah, but you can step on a cockroach and they don't break.
Yeah, if you're a pussy.
No. Do you not have them in your area?
I've had roaches in this apartment. Yes.
No, okay, hold on. There's a differentiation here. Are you talking like the little guys?
I've had little guys. I've had giant cockroaches outside by the pool.
No, I'm not wrong in this. Right? Rudy, do you have cockroaches? Not in your house, but like in your area.
So the thing you're confusing is a tick. Can't squish a tick.
I know you can't squish a tick, but you also cockroaches.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about with cockroaches. Because you could definitely squash the shit out of a cockroach.
Yeah, I've done it a million times.
I had one in my kitchen once, and I had to stomp it like 3 times before it stopped moving.
Yeah, pussy.
Because I think you missed. We
just covered this.
No, they're hard as hell. They got like a real.
No.
Maybe I need to do some more squats.
Or, I guess, or stop living by rad roaches.
No, rad roaches. They're prevalent down here. They eat up trees and they constantly have to get cut down.
Yeah, no, I mean we get them just because the way my apartment complex is the outside of like where the parking area is like one level, and then when you get into the courtyard, it goes down by like 6 feet. So it's one big boggy, sunken type area. So we get them every once in a while.
Dang.
Ladies, don't let that discourage you from coming over to the spice pad.
I need that isolated.
We're here for you.
That was so good. Very interdimensional cable.
I want to know who we is. Who is we?
Who's we? You said we'll take care of you.
Yeah, with me and the mouse in my pocket. Anyway,
if you're hot, you can do anything you want to me.
I do. So, This lady came in yesterday for St. Patrick's Day, and she had these 2 huge white clovers on her titties, and it said "rub for good luck." And I was like, "I'm the wrong person to wear that around." Do you understand me? True story. Got her phone number.
Hey,
what's up, Steph? How you doing?
Shouts out to the date Spicy had at the beginning of the show.
Hey, I'm not tied down to anybody, and I know for a fact the girl I went out with on Saturdays talking to other dudes. So there's nothing. I'm not doing nothing wrong. Thanks for joining the Hanging Loose podcast this week.
So bugs, titties, disc golf.
Yeah, we got off of disc golf and got on to bugs and titties real
Jake
quick.
Monn tying
18
Paul McBeth's
down, dude.
18 down, except not really.
What do you mean, except not really?
He didn't shoot 18 down.
I thought he did. Wasn't that?
No, he shot the same strokes as McBeth's 18 down. Ooh, this is fun. So I think Jake Monn actually shot 15 under. Or something like that. I think he shot 15 under, but it was the same amount of strokes as McBeth's 18 down. So the DGPT socials put out that Jake Monn tied McBeth's record or round.
49.
And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Except they've changed the pars since then. So a couple of the pars Monn got were birdies back when McBeth said it, and then one of his birdies was an eagle from back when McBeth said it. So I get what they were going at, but I was initially very confused because I was like, Jake Monn shot 18 down? The fuck?
That's what I thought, because that's how it was presented, and I'm no dummy.
Yeah, so I was curious your thoughts, also yours, Rudy, if you have it, or RV3, if you have any, on that. Do you think he actually... I mean, strokes wise, yes, he tied McBeth's round, but is it I don't think it's the same because you don't have the same number under par pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I think if the baskets are in the same spots and the pads are in the same spots and it's the same strokes, I think it's just as incredible of a feat.
It's an incredible round.
Yeah,
but I think there's a mental aspect there that isn't matching up because he didn't go into, say hole 12 being 11 down and being like, shoot, I need to keep this. I'm on pace. Like he had what, three or four pars in that round, which is, I'm not discrediting him. Incredible round, exactly the same as McBeth's round from 2018, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it lacks the same pressure of shooting an 18 down that McBeth.
And I think RV3 will understand what I mean when I say there's a difference between getting 21 strikeouts in a game and getting 21 strikeouts in a game and getting the win. Because Randy Johnson did it, but he didn't get the win because the game was tied. And I think it's still a monumental feat. But like you said, you don't have that thing hanging over you.
Yeah, it's not a perfect game if you don't get the win.
Right.
Fair play.
But I'll say this. I think McBeth's 18 under is more tarnished by Jake Monn shooting what he shot than the other way around.
Oh, 100%.
I disagree there because it's the same amount of strokes. The only impressive part is holding it together while you're on record to shoot a perfect round, even though it wasn't perfect. McBeth had a par and then an eagle.
Right. So then,
very similar to
that's the end of the story there anyway, because it's not a perfect round. If you go all birdies, that's one thing.
Right.
But he didn't. He had a par and an eagle, which is fine. All credit to you. That's 18 under, right? I'm not going to take away from that.
Well,
and the number's the number. If Jake Monn shot the same, and he tied the same number, then that's what he shot.
Agreed. I agree with that, but I don't think it tarnishes McBeth's 18 down. Simply, I had my thought, and I tried to stop you, and you didn't stop. I don't think it tarnishes his 18 down because he did shoot the 18 down, which is, I think, a lot harder of a feat than shooting 15 down, if that makes sense.
Mathematically, yes.
It's the same. It's exactly the same number of strokes, but the vibe is different. I don't know how else to say it. And I also don't think anyone was positing it as a perfect round. I think they kept saying there was an 18 under round. Unless I missed something, I don't think anyone said it was perfect.
That's true. I've not heard it called perfect either. So you're correct. So it's not a perfect round. That's fine, right?
Yeah, I don't. Has he ever shot a perfect round? I mean, on tour, I know D-Glow was 18 down as well, but that was in the same vein of par.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been an every hole under par round. that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I know Conrad got close last year when he shot that like fucking 1100 rated round or whatever.
Yeah, that was like 17 under that I think is close.
Yeah.
But I think
Spicy, do you agree that it makes Paul's less special?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of why. I'm trying to think of how I want to word why, because it just feels like.
But Paul's was 18 down. Mons was 15.
Right, but if
I
it's the same
don't think
number
that
of
matters.
strokes, that means that
It does matter.
The pars were higher,
right,
during Paul's round. So
yes.
they made the holes harder
by eliminating
strokes.
Right.
So
but there's also the pressure of that perfect round hover. I don't think Jake Monn was ever under the impression that he was going to have a perfect round.
A par at that point.
Right.
Because of the par and the eagle. I think if it's an actual perfect round, then it doesn't matter. It's above everything else. But because he had the par and the eagle, and he shot the same amount of strokes as Jake Monn did, it's not. It takes away a little bit of the shine of it.
Why don't they both shine then? Why does it drag Paul McBeth down and not Monn up?
I think they are. They're just not as shiny. I mean, they're both incredible accomplishments, but you can't. This is this. I equate this to the LeBron Michael Jordan thing. I think LeBron is the greatest player ever. Everybody else either thinks Michael Jordan or somebody else. I don't care how you feel. If you at me on any platform about it, I will ignore the shit out of you because I don't like arguing. But they're different games. They had playtime restrictions and all these other things in place now that they didn't have then. To more physicality. If it changes a little bit, they're both phenomenal.
Right.
It doesn't mean any one of them is less great, but I understand where RV3 is coming from.
Yeah, I get the comparison you're making, but 2018 wasn't that long ago. I feel like this idea that was old disc golf. I mean, it's not even 10 years.
I don't feel like it was. I don't feel like it's old disc golf. I'm saying they've changed the par, which is what I'm equating to changing all of the rules in basketball.
Oh, I missed that. That's my bad.
Yeah, if you change the par, is it the same course, same basket, same layout? Yes. So if it's the same strokes, then by default, they're equally as impressive. You can't rank one over the other. The difference is the rules were different.
Right. So you think if they say we turn back time and we set Waco's if we set Waco's par back to 2018 par, Monn shoots the same round?
Yes.
Yeah, same strokes.
With the added pressure of possibly getting an 18 down.
Yeah.
You think
same strokes.
It's the same amount of strokes.
But less pressure in the current layout.
Yeah, but that's not something we can actively quantify.
Right. That's you're asking us to measure.
So you can't include something that you can't measure.
Yeah.
It depends on him as a person. How
you're asking us to measure.
Did he shit before the round?
No. You're asking us to measure hype, and we can't measure that.
You can't. Yeah, there's no way to account for that.
That's insane.
We're talking strictly about numbers.
Yes, numbers-wise, strokes-wise, if the layout is exactly the same, the strokes are the same. That's why, like Ironman golf versus these par fours, par fives, and stuff, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's all vanity numbers. Like, oh, I shot 18 down. Like, I get that, but I do think there's an unquantifiable pressure about shooting a perfect round versus shooting a 15 down.
There 100% is. I think if you put...
But perfect rounds don't have pars. So I think that pressure's gone after McBeth pars that hole.
What do you mean?
Perfect rounds don't have pars.
Oh, you meant like par as in like, gotcha.
Yeah,
you meant as a...
I thought you meant every hole.
I thought you meant course par. Like a perfect round doesn't have a score is what I thought you meant. which doesn't make sense. That's me just being dumb.
Yeah, that's some mental gymnastics there, brother.
Hey, you said it, not me.
That's why I was just explaining my confusion. It does not have to make sense.
I mean, obviously, even in 2018, like you were talking about, wasn't that long ago. But I think Paul had already been on cameras and coverage and that kind of stuff for a long time. So he didn't necessarily have that type of added pressure. As a cameraman, I can tell you that we add a lot of pressure, even though we do everything in our power not to. There's just nothing you can do about being a camera and being behind. You just have to be there. It's your job. They understand that for the most part. And
tough.
You know, if you put Jake Monn in those same circumstances, I think Paul's done 18 down twice.
Yeah.
So
on tour.
Right. I think just that already is like,
oh yeah.
Until somebody else does it again, I think even Jake Monn would be like, that was the round of my life.
Oh, I am not discounting that. And I think,
you know, so I think they look at them as different. That was the round of my life. With Paul's like, I expect to get 18 down every round.
Yeah,
you know
he goes in expecting and wanting to birdie everything.
Sure.
Which is, you know, his. Speaking of McBeth, and not that we haven't been talking to him for a while, he has had a pretty damn good showing so far this season.
He absolutely has been in the running for both tournaments. And I was thinking that during God damn, my brain just shut off. What was the event this week?
Waco,
yes. God damn. Shouts out to Adam Hammis.
Yes, congrats.
I don't think
Hammis,
he would call me
Fresnal,
a friend, but I call
Roaches.
him a friend because I need that rub. So kudos to him. That was a battle, and he earned it. So.
That was cool. Yeah. And came down to a putt, and I thought for sure, just historically, his putt, but he pulled it off. So big time congrats.
I expected him to fuck it up.
I did.
No, I mean, I can't putt in normal circumstances. So for him to be able to can that is nothing short of impressive. So
that is awesome.
But
I wanted to shout out my boy Yuli. I know he didn't end up finishing all that well, but he's pulling it together this season already.
Yuli
as an old guy. Yeah, dude.
he was
leading the pack that first round. Ageless Wonder.
Yeah, but what actual verbiage did they use to describe him?
I think they called him the Ageless Wonder.
Did they? I thought they had like a different like meaner term, and then Germ started calling him the Ageless Wonder.
Oh,
I'll have to.
I'd have to go back and watch.
Yeah, let's not ponder.
I watched
RV3. Google that.
What did screen, Germ Jamie. Call Yuli in Google? I would have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Google's like, do you want pasta? That's what Ulibarri sounds like. Yeah, but I'm excited. I think I've had enough of a elongated break from golf. I'm very excited to watch it every week, enjoying the commentary. It's just nice to be back, I think.
It really is. It's nice.
Seasonal depression is cured.
Oh my gosh. Says the guy whose low is like 60 degrees.
Hey. Our seasonal depression is when it's 119 outside and you want to fucking in front of an ice truck. You're like, this sounds cool. I'll see what I did there. We had the annual inspection at the apartment today.
Ooh,
not to change subjects, but it's just we're going to check your smoke alarms, change your air filters, and make sure you don't have any leaks.
Gotcha.
So naturally,
find all your classified documents.
Yeah. Last night I did the classic, gonna smoke one more and then light a candle. And then I fell asleep with the candle lit.
That's how you do it.
Smart guy stuff only.
Living on the edge.
Luckily, it burned itself out, thankfully. So
good deal.
I'm not deceased.
How are we feeling about Gannon Burr not having a good showing so far this year? I kind of had this. We're only 2 events in, but I had that prediction in our predictions episode that Gannon was not going to perform to expectation this year.
He's got a slow start, but I think he's very similar to Calvin in that when he goes, he does not stop.
Didn't Calvin wasn't Calvin at the top of Waco though?
Yeah.
Where was Gannon?
I think Spicy and I need to have a little meeting about what we're going to do with the predictions thing, because right now, if you go back and look at that list, Shanked is like Nostradamusing levels of calling things right now, and that's why he keeps bringing these things up. By the way.
Hey,
it's only because he's trying to brag about how good he's doing in the league right now. I saw right through that bullshit.
Let him have it. Like I said, it's been all me for 50 episodes.
It's very true.
So kid needs a win, one a year. He gets one a year.
And it'll be all year, baby.
What do we get? You get nothing.
Gosh dang it. I'm wasting airtime trying to find another one.
I didn't order Chinese food and 4 Sprites.
Four Sprites. Just order the 2-liter.
We have the
they don't
one
have
at the beginning of the show, so we can add in another one if you want.
What was that?
We have the one from the beginning of the show, so we can add this in if you want.
Nice.
Were you recording the whole time?
Yeah, I recorded. I went right from that into the intro. You just didn't notice.
Let's say if you want to do a second take, I'm trying to
Does
find.
That mean you got my burp?
Yeah,
burp.
Yeah, totally
clean. I'm fucking stoked about that now. No, that was a one-take wonder, baby. I don't need to do that again.
It was glorious. You should have seen it at the beginning of the episode.
They will, apparently.
I also wanted to shout out Nico LaCastro for the first time in my life. Playing lefty was cool as shit, so good for him.
Oh.
Yeah.
I saw Lefty LaCastro on
Keimborg,
but I didn't look into it.
5th place, tied for 5th anyways.
Calvin was?
Yeah. Looking for our lanky boy from Iowa. I can't remember his name. Top of my head. Gannon. Where the hell's Gannon? Where did he place?
What's happening with my shit?
Gannon.
Can we guess? Oh, don't say. Don't
guess.
say. RV3, where do you think he finished?
Hey everybody, this is Randy from RanDiscGolf.com. The other day I was out on the disc golf course, bombing my drivers 300 feet, feeling good about myself. And I decided that since I had a long ride home, I needed to find a podcast that was smart, funny, and entertaining. Everything a good podcast should be. So I picked Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it was wonderful. But after that, my podcast app, the algorithm, sent me to Hangin' Loose podcast, hosted by Shanked, DG, and Spicy Boy. And it was okay. But after 30 seconds, I figured that my time would be better spent listening to the new Chapel Roan album. So that's what I did. So if you need any discs, RanDiscGolf.com. And if your podcast app happens to go to the Hangin' Loose podcast, there's always Chapel Roan.
I'm going to say 13.
No, I think he was like 27th.
Tied for 5th.
Hey, pretty fucking close.
Yep. So he didn't place as bad as I thought he did, but he was kind of silent. I think he played just kind of really solid golf for
Safe
3
golf.
rounds.
Nothing spectacular.
I think the biggest storyline for me coming out of the weekend was how close it was, particularly at the end of day 3 going into day 4, Saturday into Sunday. It was super tight, and I love that. And I understand that there needs to be a certain, and actually Simon talked about this, I think, in his Sunday vlog. Keeping the courses competitive, where it's difficult for the professionals, but you also want to keep it balanced so that you can have a nice tight race at the end, because that's what's going to be entertaining to watch for the fans, and that's what's going to be fun, the most fun for the players.
Yeah.
I would agree with the first part. It's obviously way more fun to watch. But for players, I don't think they're like looking for it to be close. I think most of them want to kick the shit out of each other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone wants that dominance because that's what brings spotlights. Like KT taking down her first event in the States. Or, sorry, KL now. Dang, man.
It sounds
off the market.
Dangerously close to Kyle.
Yeah. But yeah, no, seeing close races like that is fun. I haven't watched live disc golf in a minute. Have they gotten better with chase card coverage?
I didn't really notice too many dips when I was watching, but I was also like listening more than watching. I had it on my
well, I meant
monitor.
more. Are they like following chase card when they're close like that now? Because I know Jomez specifically was very like lead card focused until DGN acquired them, and now they're doing a little bit of like whole check-ins because they have access to all the footage from all the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if live coverage is doing a very good job of catching chase card, especially because didn't Hamas win off of chase card? Am I getting that right?
I know he was lead card at least one of the rounds, but I think
YouTube should solve this for me. Vamp. Vamp.
Blah, blah, blah. Let me see what I did there.
I do not sound like that.
Don't do that.
Final back nine. Nope, he was on lead card. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wrong. My bad.
Get used to that, boy. But you get a head start on your season predictions, and then I'm going to come back and just absolutely dust you. Hit you with a haboob.
Yeah, right. It's like if I...
what the fuck was that?
blah, blah, blah. Gannon Burr
started
going
14 sentences.
Going to sweep the rest of the events.
I don't think he's going to sweep, but I think, like I said, he's like Calvin will have 3 or 4 tournaments where he's just a little bit off his game, and then he'll have like 9 in a row where he's top 5. And that's kind of how Gannon is if he's out of contention, he's usually pretty far out of contention, but when he's playing well, he strings it together and he stays at the top. So I think once he gets there, and he's obviously close at a 5th place season, or a finish rather, I think he's not far from lighting that fire, if you will. Let's do I think we should do a per episode prediction where we name 3 players and we predict if they're going to finish better or worse than last week.
Okay.
Let's start with Gannon. Tie for 5th. Do you think he finishes better than 5th or worse than 5th next week?
What's the next event?
That is valid information to want to know.
While we fill the time, this is how you proper it.
Open in Austin. Okay.
We're talking Gannon. I think he's gonna. If I had to say above, I think he's probably gonna place exactly 5th again.
Okay, we can introduce that as an option.
But if I had to choose over under, I'd say over or under, I guess.
So it's just golf. A better or worse finish would be the definitive way to say it.
You know what? Tired of being bullied on this show.
I'm tired of being right. It sucks.
Better.
I think Gannon is going to perform better, but I don't think he's going to win. I think he's going to come in 3rd place.
If I had to put it, I just feel another 5th place finish for him.
Okay.
Just feel in my bones.
Okay. Champ last year was Owen Scoggins, it says, and Nicholas Antela, 26 and 27 under respectively. So let's go with Paul McBeth. He's had a pretty good run. Do you think he keeps it up, or do you think he's going to drop a little bit?
What did he place last week?
He was top 4, I think, wasn't he?
No, he was 11th.
He dropped off in the last round then because he was lead card, I think.
Better.
Do you think so? You think he's going to turn it back on?
I think so. I think he's getting comfortable again. I don't. So the thing is with McBeth, he's so far into his career, I don't think he's practicing. I think he's getting his practice on tour. So it's going to take him a few events to really ramp up. And if he's starting this hot, I think we're going to be in good shape. And by practice, I mean, I don't think he's playing every day. I think he's might be doing a practice round, doing some content, and then playing the tournament. He's not like out there, doing pitch counts and stuff.
Pitch counts. Listen to you referencing sports. I agree. I think he's going to do better. The comfortability is showing. I reminisce more often than I pay attention when Paul is putting these days. I'm like, I remember when your putt was just, you could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Circle 3. And it was a smooth single stroke and it was cash every time. And like, there were a few putts in the 18 under round actually that were like so long.
Mm-hmm.
And he just absolutely made them look like nothing. And these days he'd be 22 feet away. And I'm like, I wonder how he's feeling about this. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think once he gets that under control, last year did he even play? Hold on.
Play Open at Austin.
That's what I'm checking. Gannon Burr finished 25th last year at Austin.
Uh-oh. No backsies.
Takesies, backsies. Yeah, there's Paul McBeth. 42nd.
42nd?
Yeah.
I mean, that was last. Yeah. Am I not thinking of the right course? Is it Open at Austin pretty open?
The open course at Harvey Pennick. I don't know. Google it. Take a look. We're all hey, welcome to the Google show.
Where's our producer? Jesus.
I hope you can hear these children outside of my apartment. It's great.
Shut them up.
Yeah, now you know how I feel all the time.
I took care of those dogs. Don't worry.
I was talking about your children. Children. Yeah.
Any other storylines coming along?
Players, and you only got two players, and you have no ladies.
Paul, that's a good point. KT, you think she's gonna? That's not
who?
KL. Sorry, Kyle.
I think you should pick somebody else.
Yeah, we should absolutely pick somebody else. Last year's champ, Cat Merch.
What about Missy Gannon? She playing?
That was Cat Merch's first win on tour.
That wasn't it?
Why does it say Kristen's score was 15 down, but Cat Merch finished in first with 8 down? Are you seeing that?
No, I can't see your screen.
Oh, I thought we were all looking at the same thing. Sorry. I'm not high.
It was tallied by the Democrats.
Scoggins. This is
are you looking at the round score?
No, I'm looking at the total on the left side. 2024 Open at Austin. Owen Scoggins. Okay, it defaulted to round 1, which why would you not show me the final results first? It's a past event. I'm not looking for.
So it was not Cat Merch's first win either.
No, it was Owen Scoggins, then Kristen, then Missy, then Natalie Ryan, who tied with a few people. So let's go with Cat Merch. Finished in a tied for 4th at 8 down. Do you think she's going to finish better or worse than 4th?
Has she been playing this year? I haven't heard her name.
Yeah. She was out at Waco for sure. I remember seeing her on coverage a couple times.
She placed 4th. I hate to be that guy. Under.
You think she's going to finish worse? Again, thank you. Please use the words we agreed upon. Use my score nouns. Score nouns. I don't know what I'm saying.
Could you please speak right on this show?
I'll kill you.
I'd rather speak left. God damn it.
I think she's going to do better.
Really, better than 4th?
That's the only one you disagreed on. Yay, content.
Listen, asshole, we're being true to ourselves and not selling out.
Being honest. That's what
we're being dumb mumblers. The fuck was that? Did you call on your office phone?
Yes, my office phone. It's a landline.
Yeah, I think she's gonna finish one place better.
One place better?
She's gonna make a strong push. She's gonna finish 3rd, and they're gonna interview her in the post game interview. It's just gonna be like, I beat my score last year, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then that's going to be the extent of the interview.
That was a pretty good impression.
I sound just like Cat Merge.
Yeah. If I had to guess, sixth place.
So drop a couple.
But I 6th place, but shoots the same amount of strokes as last year. How's that for specific?
That's pretty specific. I mean,
deeper field.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there was names there that weren't there last year, I think. So, like the Elias or Midlings and people like that.
How's she doing this season?
I hope she's doing great. Golf-wise, couldn't tell you.
How do you spell that? I'm going to control F for.
I think her last name's Miedling. I think.
Ellie. She placed 20th. Not bad. How deep was the field?
Oh, I was way off on her last name. Hey, RV3, cut that, please.
20th out of 52. Shouts out to Mia Lofton for the 33 over. Still finished, so good job.
You fucking just roasting strangers on his. What are you doing?
That's the most relatable of us. Maria Oliva with the plus 29.
I had actually a really interesting disc golf experience last night. I didn't even think to share until right now. So I was hosting trivia because it was Monday, St. Paddy's Day trivia.
As you do.
And there was a guy there who was like, he told the bartender he was a disc golf buddy, but I did not recognize him. So I was like, okay, I don't know who this guy is. But then I also was like, I definitely know this guy, but it's not from disc golf. And then I looked at him more and I was like, I do know this guy from disc golf. You guys remember it was either last week or the week before we were talking about guys who come play golf on their lunch break from work. And I talked about those plumbers.
Yeah.
And I told you I hadn't seen them in years.
Yeah.
That guy just happened to come into the bar last night for St. Paddy's Day. And I was like, you're the plumber dude. And he's like, yeah. I was like, dude, I haven't seen you in like, I literally was just talking about you on my podcast like yesterday. And he was like, oh, really? What were you saying? And I was like, nothing. Just how we talk about like, you know, dudes in actual physical jobs go play disc golf. My friend's UPS driver, I have an electrician buddy, you. I was like, we were just talking about how cool it is that you guys find time to get out and get 9 in when you can. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then he was a dick to me for the rest of the night.
Oh, no.
Like, so mean to me for no reason. I said nothing but good things to him and about him. And then he, I was like, yeah, my friend down there. And that guy goes, I was never your friend, pal. He said that. He yelled that at the bar. And you've never seen a room full of people turn on a dude so fast.
Oh, my
these are
God.
all my trivia players.
Right.
So, like, he's like, I was never your friend, pal. And the whole bar's like, and they all just laid into him. And he comes over to go to the bathroom and he comes to try and apologize to me. He was like, you burned your bridges, dog. I was like,
right.
I said, everyone in this room hates you now. He's like, I don't give a shit. I was like, okay, as long as you know. And then he left like 5 minutes later. I was
That's
like,
brutal.
Get fucked. Why are you going to be an asshole for no reason at all, dude?
Oh,
But it was really nice to have my trivia homies come to bat for me because the whole bar was like, fuck you, dude.
That's awesome.
Literally, there's a guy named Jason. He's a good friend of mine. And he comes in every so often, and he's missing the lower half of his left leg because he was in a motorcycle accident. And Jason was like, I'll fucking kick that guy's ass. I was like, yeah, Jason. And Jason would. He would fuck somebody up in a heartbeat if they, like, did anything to me. He's I'd give it to him if he asked.
That's such a New York response from that guy. I was never your friend, pal, is a fucking New York line, and I love that guy for it. And yeah,
he's not even from New York.
Be fucking mad about it.
Yeah, it was something else. I tell you, I've never had anybody just randomly turn on me like that.
Yeah, that's strange. Was he drunk?
Probably.
Gotcha.
I mean, he was pretty loud.
I've met some people like that get like that when they're drunk, but I can't imagine just being an ass to a stranger like that.
Especially one with a microphone who's obviously in control of the room. Like,
right.
What do you think's gonna happen?
Turn everyone on you in an instant.
Yeah.
Jesus. I can't imagine that. Like, I have a picture in my phone from a guy, just a random guy at Bourbon Street that just ran up to me, and he was like, hey, let's take a picture. And we all just like, I never saw him again. I saw him for like 30 seconds. We took a picture and he was gone.
And it's in your phone? I thought you were going to tell him about the one I sent you.
No, that's for us.
Oh. Shanked. DG stands for dirty guy. Okay. That's the fucking worst thing I've ever said. We're about it. Yeah, thank you. Bye. Disappearing guy, John Cena.
What about his heel turn? I want to hear your take in RV3s. I'm a super casual WWE guy, so
since fucking when?
Wait,
like super casual. Like I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Hold on. I know what he's doing.
What am I doing? I'm not doing anything. I'm being genuine. Oh,
he's being bad.
It's broken. Spicy. It's
Damn
broken.
It! He was gonna turn out real spicy. We were gonna talk wrestling like he and I do sometimes. We're a big wrestling fan, but we're almost at time. I am very happy with John Cena I don't know where to look. Down here.
It's real spicy.
It is. It's amazing how many women are in my life and no one would record a soundbite for me, but what the fuck ever. I'm very happy that he decided to go this route. I think it makes perfect sense for the people who aged with him. The kids who were 9 years old when he was at the peak of his like John Cena.
I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
They're now like 17, 18, some of them in their 20s.
I was going to say, I remember watching.
And they get they're smart to the sport now is the term. If I can sound like an absolute asshole, but
they're smart to this.
So now they understand why he's doing it. So it makes sense. I'm in love with the whole idea.
Okay.
And the angle.
So that era was like the era I was watching WWE. I only watched for a couple years, maybe, but I remember watching the special or the special. I don't know what they fucking call him when John Cena popped out of the crowd and he was like, "Look at this guy," and like watching that one. And
look at this guy.
Am I remembering that wrong? Didn't they pull him out of the crowd as like his debut at like a military base or something?
No, I don't think so. He came out to face. He answered Kurt Angle's open challenge, and Kurt Angle asked him what he brought to the table, and he said ruthless aggression. And then that was his very early days.
I think
the guy they
just
pulled out
become
of the crowd,
John Cena after being the Terminator or whatever the fuck he called himself before
in OVW. Yeah, he was awful. But the guy they pulled out of the crowd, I think, was at least the one I remember most vividly is Santino Marella.
Yes.
Maybe. They pulled him out of the crowd to have an intercontinental title match, and he ended
won.
up. And
was it at like a military base or like outside?
I don't think so.
God, I could have maybe I'm making that up.
I would love to know who you are remembering because this is confusing for me.
I swore they were doing like a WWE show at a military base, and I feel like they pulled someone out of the crowd, which obviously it's all scripted, right? Pulled someone out of the crowd. I could have swore it was John Cena.
I think at least RV3 or I would know of what you're talking about, and it's not ringing a bell.
Maybe
for me. I love
John Cena may have pulled somebody out of the crowd at a show.
Maybe that's what it was.
Very big pro troops, but that would be the only thing I can think of. Sorry, RV3.
I think that's probably where I'm picking.
So just a quick thing on my take on the Cena thing. I absolutely love the angle, and I'm not mad or like I'm bummed that we're not getting a hero Cena run. But I'm happy that we're getting a heel Cena run. But my bummedness slightly outweighs my happiness for the heel part.
Really?
Like, the heel part is great, and I love it, and the angle's great. But I kind of wish they did the Cena hero thing. Just, like, the crowd, like, it would be insane. Just...
Hear me out. They give him the heel run, right?
Yeah. And we've talked about this off the podcast a whole bunch.
Oh, of course.
We could do a whole nother podcast about this.
We text about wrestling every week.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's why we're so blown away that you're like, I like wrestling. We're like, what the fuck? I think, and this is my fantasy booking of Cena's whole thing, is they give him the heel run. He absolutely runs with it. He destroys it. I was very impressed with you don't get a new song because everyone was talking about it. You don't get a new outfit because everyone was talking about it. Like, so fucking smart to address every piece of it. But they're going to give him this monster heel run.
Yeah, I love the angle. Absolutely.
He's going to get his championship. He's going to break the record. It's going to be this whole thing. And then he's at the very last, the 11th. What is it? The 11th hour, 25th hour, whatever the fucking phrase is. He's going to do something that's like I was always here kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's
interesting. Yeah.
I think they're going to give him that.
I was kind of wishing they went the Ghost Rider, like Marvel Ghost Rider route with it, where The Rock has always owned John Cena since John Cena became champion the first time. I was really hoping they would go that route, and they didn't. So that's also kind of a bummer. But
there would be, I feel like they laid too many things in stone during those feuds for it to make enough sense to be like, actually, it was true the whole time.
Yeah.
But that would be a good angle to play. But yeah, I think they're just going to give him one last thing where, he celebrates his win to retain, like in December, and then he kicks The Rock in the dick and vacates just leaves the belt in the ring and then walks out. So it's like he's got that last little babyface act, I think.
Well, the best part is
we'll never know.
We're all gonna find out
next Sunday at the Superdome. That's how you know we're wrestling fans right there. All right,
I feel like there's a whole scope of that stuff that I have no idea about. I figured by heel turn that meant he'd like kick a Make-A-Wish kid or something.
He almost, he verbally kicked a Make-A-Wish kid.
He sure fucking did. He reverse Ric Flaired that kid. Where Ric Flair's like, I guess even that fat one right there. John Cena's like, even that fucking kid who's crying, fuck him too. That was so good. I was like, God damn, bro. I don't know. It wasn't the promo I wanted, but it was an acceptable promo.
It was. I loved every line of it. Like I said, the angle's great. I'm not mad about the angle. I would have personally enjoyed a Cena hero run better.
I did enjoy Cody's response.
Yes.
Go find John Cena because I want to wrestle him at WrestleMania 41. Not this whiny bitch. Like, yes, dude. I love wrestling so much. I don't care who fucking knows it. And that's why I'm single. So it's fine. I might have enough sun to get 18 holes in if we call it.
Go do it.
Sweet. Yeah, let's get out of here. Thanks for watching the Hanging Loose Disc Golf / WWE podcast.
It did
slash
get very wrestle
bugs slash titties podcast.
It was titties for like 2 seconds. Don't be rude.
Enough to give it a tag. I'm going to add it into the tags on the YouTube thing. It's like,
we're going to get a whole new audience.
DGPT, Foundation Disc Golf, titties.
They would hate us. Okay, bye, everybody. Love you.
See ya. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Hanging Loose.
Can we end with that
a
every
Disc
week?
Golf
'Cause I
podcast.
forget every week.
I wonder.
We'll be back again next
our
week.
podcast.
Until then,
I wonder how many people had to like
hang
crank it
loose
up and then hit that and just like veer off into a ditch.
I also realized that when I move my mic from my work